Hi, I'm Rosie and welcome to my video, Could Paedophilia be cured? I want to first explain why I'm interested in this topic and the reasons why I believe it could be cured. So basically, I've explained before, I am a fully qualified therapist and I'm currently working with a few paedophiles. So I do mainly sexual therapy with people. And I've had 3 paedophiles that I've worked with say to me, since they've been working with me, they've had less thoughts of sexual attraction towards children. So I believe that is because of the work that I do with them and the way I view paedophilia. I view it as an addiction. Now, I'll just quickly, I've written out some bullet points to remind myself, so I might look down occasionally. So basically, the current understanding of paedophilia, according to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, this is the DSM-5, what many psychologists and clinical psychologists work with to diagnose people with different disorders. It is thought of as a paraphilic disorder, so it's not considered as an addiction or a fetish, but I believe otherwise. I believe it is actually like a fetish or an addiction. So, and the current understanding is that paedophilia cannot be cured. Now, obviously, I believe otherwise because of my current findings with my clients and also the research that I have done. So, this is because I believe this is the reason I believe this is because of what I understand of the nature of addiction. Now, from my understanding, addiction comes from a form of lack in your childhood. So it will go back to a time in your childhood where you felt you needed something, you needed love, attention, or whatever, and you didn't get it, and then as you grow up, you can form addictions. Now, I have a caffeine and spending addiction that I work on, and I have to monitor all the time, and I'm quite conscious of what I have to work on with myself, with all different things. Some people have addiction to exercise or are workaholics. Now, these are all more socially acceptable addictions, but I actually don't distinguish between them. So I think that a drug addiction or a sex addiction, such as what I would class paedophilia being a form of sex addiction, are just the same as my caffeine addiction. However, obviously, or spending addiction, obviously, it's more socially acceptable because we can meet people for a coffee or a cup of tea. It's very socially acceptable. But at the root of it, I believe they come from the same root cause, and it's just how I've programmed it, and someone else has programmed something different. So I believe that it is all curable. Now then, some of you may think that paedophilia is actually a sexual orientation, like being homosexual or heterosexual or bisexual. However, I believe otherwise. So I believe, from the research I've done regarding sexual development and my own experience with working with over 300 clients with sexual therapy and the data that I'm collecting regarding human sexual behaviour, I believe that actually your sexuality happens through social conditioning, and I actually believe that all humans are fundamentally born either bisexual or even pansexual. And it is purely our upbringing and our social conditioning from our society and our norms that we form our sexual orientation. And I actually believe if anyone, literally anyone, wanted to change their sexual orientation, they absolutely could. And I believe that anything can be cured, and you can, if you really want to, you can change it. So basically, there is research that backs up my belief that sexual orientation comes about through your social conditioning and different things in your environment. In ancient Greek times, it was common for men to have relations with, like, sexual and romantic relations with other older men, to prepare them for marriage, for when they were to marry women, and it was like a normal thing to do. Obviously times have changed and that isn't the norm anymore, so it goes to show. And also back in those times, paedophilia, the love of young boys and young children in a sexual way in ancient Greece was seen as the norm and seen as something that was acceptable. So obviously things change all the time. Now this is just food for thought, because obviously paedophilia is one of the most hated crimes on the planet, and I absolutely cringe and have gut-wrenching feelings at the thought of any child being sexually abused or anything. I feel like crying, and it desperately upsets me. And as I said, at the moment there's apparently no cure for paedophilia. And I've read, and all the paedophiles that I've worked with, like I said to you, they have sworn to me that they've got no intention on physically hurting a child or even downloading porn. I mean, obviously I have to just take their word for it. And from what I've read of a paedophile on forums where paedophiles are brave enough to speak openly about their feelings on the internet, where they don't want to harm children, they don't want to break the law, they just feel stuck with this sexual desire, but they've got no idea of how to get out of. And I read an article about a 20-year-old paedophile who he's absolutely got, he said to the interviewer, it was on the BBC website, he has absolutely got no intention of harming a child in any way or downloading porn or anything. He just feels sexually attracted to children, and he's taken a vow of celibacy at the age of like early 20s, because he believes that he's got no way of fulfilling his sexual desire. So he's just basically decided that he can't be in any sexual or romantic relationships, and he just kind of leads a quite a sheltered life. He goes to work and tries to keep himself to himself, and that's quite sad. And there's probably, I know there's a significant amount of paedophiles who do abuse children and who are downloading porn and child pornography, which is terrible. But then there's the other side of it, where there's other paedophiles who really don't want to do that and really don't want to break the law or do anything harmful to a child, and they feel stuck with their problems, and there's no help. The only help at the moment is to in a drastic measure is to take drugs to basically kill off your sex drive and your sexual hormones, and that's quite sad. And according to the data, there's 1% chance of every baby born growing up into a paedophile, even if they've had a really loving, balanced upbringing. So it's food for thought, and I just would like to maybe, you know, if there people can, I believe people can be cured of anything, any issue that is within you. You can cure it if with the right attitude and the right guidance. If you want to do something, you absolutely can with anything. And that, and you know, the paedophiles I've worked with, you know, the three of them who've had less thoughts, because they actively want to shift it and they want to feel less burdened by their problems. So anyway, thank you for watching. If you're interested in any of the work that I do, I don't just work with paedophiles, I work with all different people with different issues. You can email me. My email address will be in the comments section at the bottom. I also have a website with my partner called www.curepaedophilia.com. If you want to look at that, because and find out the methodologies we use, and how we go about it, and we, like I said, we believe we can cure anything if you really want to. Yeah, so you can find that website, www.curepaedophilia.com. Like I said, if you have any questions, you can email me. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. God bless. Namaste.